Hello folks, I'm Joe Wesley of J&L Creative Solutions, and today we're going to talk about, are you prepared to take your hot seat challenge for a tidbit of your secret sauce for enhanced success? Now my guest today is scheduled to be Toby Blair Cohen, but she came a little bit under the weather and she won't be able to make it. And Toby, I hope you get well soon. I know you will get well. I hope you get well as soon as possible. And so we can enjoy each other's company again in terms of dialogue and also have you on the hot seat challenge. And it's ironic, or it's interesting, the concept of taking the hot seat challenge. My first thought, I was notified toward the end of last week that, geez, can't get anybody else. It's too late to publicize, to set it up, to implement the program. My second thought was to cancel the event. And I says, no, that would be easy, but it wouldn't be fair to people perhaps. Oh, by the way, Toby, we'll be coming back at a future date. And for those who are visiting us for the first time, let me backtrack. I'm a little bit ahead of myself or behind myself. Again, Toby Blair Cohen will not be able to be a guest today. She came a little bit under the weather. And I was talking about my particular challenge for today, that I had the choice of getting somebody else, not going to happen, not enough time to publicize it. My second choice was to cancel the event, but no, that wouldn't be fair to the audience, perhaps to my program, certainly. So I said, well, let me take on a challenge of what am I going to do with this spot of time? So what I'm doing is to share with you the concept of the hot seat challenge, because people are asking me all the time, what exactly is it? Why are you doing it? How does it work? And why should I be interested? And when you think about it, this is really no different than any other agent, prospect, consumer, convert, client convert in the world around us. So I said, let me do this podcast. It won't be as long as 30 minutes. And what we're talking about here, and again, for those who are coming in late, please, Toby Blair could not make it today as a guest. She will be coming on in a future date, and I wish you'll get better soon. The concept here is the hot seat challenge. How did it come about? Well, talking to a lot of people in business, much of my life during the day is talking to associates, to peers, to prospects, to clients. And a common theme is people will talk about in the conventional manner. Before COVID, you might say we had physical meetings. The standard questions would be, who are you? What do you do? And who are you is important. I want to call you by your name. What you do is important because, quite frankly, at least to me, quite frankly, if you are a hairstylist, you're probably somebody I'm not going to have a lot of interest in. How long have you been doing it for? Tells me what's your experience, what's your viability. If you've been doing it for 2 or 3 days, I'll check back with you next week if you're still around, and maybe we'll talk some more. If you've been doing it for 30 years, geez, you must be good at what you do. So now you have perhaps more of my attention, unless you're a hairstylist, maybe for my wife, but certainly not for me. However, with all that being said, and people will talk about what they do, how long they've done it for, how good they are at it, proudly say, well, I've been doing this for X number of years. But the next question invariably will be, if not at that point, at some point in the near future, what's your cost? And immediately the declaration is, the unsaid question is, or the treatment is, however you say you're good at what you do, I'm treating you like a commodity because I'm already going to price you first, priority. And a commodity that's negotiable at that. And that's what a lot of business owners complain about, that they don't treat me as providing a valued product or service. They treat me like a negotiable commodity. And I wanted to address that. So the issue is how to go about it. The hot seat challenge, why am I doing this? Now, the concept being, I'm looking down because this was, I don't say a last minute program, but I took some notes for myself and I try to be transparent in how I do it. So the why would be, an example being, my wife, people, they have their favorite restaurants. I'll give you an example. I'm in a community, I could walk to either a order out place or a sit down place, easily enough to do it. within 5 to 10 minutes. So there's a lot of activity, commercial activity, including restaurants in the area. That being said, when, say, Cinco de Mayo comes up, I could go to any number of restaurants, not necessarily walking distance, but easy to get to. But I will drive, my wife and I will drive to a place that's at least 30 minutes away. And we do that every year because we love the ambiance. The food is good. Prices, like everything else, has gone up, but where has it not gone up? We are first name basis at this point with the owner of the restaurant because now she makes it a point to walk around and say hi to people. There's something about that restaurant we like, and amongst all the other Spanish or Mexican restaurants out there. Now, my wife has a favorite clothier she'll go to most of the time to shop. And I'll ask her why, because she says, I like them. They have what I want. They have what I need. So again, unless a place has a special sale on, and she still will worry about the value at that point, she will shop most of the time at her favorite restaurant. It could be your vacation spot. And the point I'm making here is that people have preferences that go beyond, that emulates the concept they like, respect, and trust. They say people make a buying decision, 80% of the time, plus or minus, on how they feel about you, how they like you, how they trust what you provide through you, the person. We'll justify it with the left brain, but we'll make the purchase decision with our right brain. And when you talk about what you do, it doesn't quite address that concept. Look at my notes again here. So another example, perhaps more to the point, I've had experiences. I suspect many people I've spoken with have had same experiences. They'll listen to me politely. Maybe they have some interest. We're there to network. They're there to market. Some might even volunteer. Joe, I like your concept. It's different. And yeah, I could use it for my business as we're going back to the question and answer format. But I just don't have the budget for it. And that makes sense. Unless you're IBM or that famous Coca-Cola company or Pepsi-Cola company, or unless you have a huge car business, most of us aren't going to have a marketing budget. It's focused on building the business, providing the resources I need to give it viability to business, and provide myself, my family, my employees a lifestyle. However, if you were to lose your cell phone, if your CRT, your computer screen was to go blank on you, or the muffler were to drop out the bottom of your car, I guarantee you, without a budget, you will have that resolved within 36 hours or less. And the concept here, people clearly see the value need of that particular item to move along their business. So when people say, I just don't have the budget for it, I don't take it literally. They don't have the money. They just don't see sufficient value to bring the money to the table. So the challenge is, how do I go about as a consumer? How do you go about as a provider determining or sharing the value to the world around you? Well, what we do is we do a hot seat challenge. Now, I don't claim that I see dead people, but I will see things about you you've yet to discover about yourself that provides your unique concept, your karma, if you want to say it like that, to your business that nobody else can lay claim to. Oh yes, they can talk about what you do, who you do, how long you've done it for. And for the more creative ones, they'll say, and I really care about my clients. Now, this might sound sarcastic, but who's not going to admit they don't care about their clients? But as a consumer, I suspect you've had many times that feeling they really want me just for my money and not to provide value for my money hard earned. So the key here is providing an environment for you that will allow the audience to get a sense of who you are. And the way we go about that is it's a half-an-hour program that we sit and talk, conversation. And I'll ask you the question, what's your favorite pastime? because I want to get a flavor of you. I want the audience to get a flavor of you. And I ask that question as opposed to many interviewers will say, well, tell me about yourself. Oh, okay, yeah. I've been married for 30,000 years. I've got 5 kids. I've got a fancy car. I've had my own business for the last 10 centuries. Nothing to do with you, the person. It's what you do as an environment. There's a phrase I like. I cannot recall the publisher or the author of this phrase. And I'll repeat it because it didn't make initial sense to me having heard it. And its features will cause buyers to think, and benefits will cause thinkers to buy. And when I heard that, I said, what the flip is that? So I think I raised my hand. I said, could you repeat that? And the moderator said, yes. Features will cause buyers to think, and benefits will cause thinkers to buy. And again, that goes back to the recognized mantra that people make decisions based on emotion, 80% plus or minus of the time. And yes, they'll justify it with their left brain, but it's the right brain that makes the world move. So what we want to do is provide benefits. And the benefit you bring to the table is not what you do, it's who you are. An example being, most people I speak with love peanut butter. Whether it's the chunky type or the smooth type, it doesn't matter. I can't stand it. And I'm convinced, and most people hear that are shocked by it, understandably. Well, my mother, I'm firstborn. My mother said when she carried me, she would eat globs of peanut butter out the jar directly. And I'm convinced it mucked up my DNA sequence and some antigen antibody mishap and just this conflict. I don't eat it, no matter what. It can win all sorts of awards for quality. It can be in a sculpted bottle, nicely done. It can be a little ribbon neatly around the neck of the bottle. I don't care. That's not my preferred sauce type. However, I love orange marmalade. And I'll put it over oatmeal, bread, toasted bread, butter, or untoasted bread, butter, and orange marmalade. I would eat it out the jar if it weren't so sweet. Love it. And the point I'm making here is many people prefer peanut butter. Fewer people prefer orange marmalade. And the irony of it, I've heard people who love peanut butter, orange marmalade, ugh. So we have our preferences. And so each of us have a secret sauce. We just don't know we have it, much less how to find it, much less how to put it in play. So again, I don't claim that I see dead people, but I see things, and I will discover things about you you've yet to understand about yourself, be aware of it for yourself, that provide your business a distinctive value that will draw your defined market to you, your peanut butter preferred people or your orange marmalade preferred people. And let's put it to work for you. Now, what I do here is only 30 minutes. The first 20 minutes is asking you, again, what's your favorite pastime? And then as I learn more about you, I then will roll it over into what do you do now as a business owner? And let's bring in who you are into your business so we can share the unique quality that nobody's can claim to themselves about why somebody would prefer you as their desired sauce versus your competition. And that's why I call it your secret sauce. And once you declare it, it won't be so secret anymore. That's the whole intent. And the format is multi-streamed to, at the same time, live podcasts to LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, Twitter. So let's publicize you to your audience, to my audience. Let people discover something about you they didn't know. Let's something like that you didn't know either. That's been my experience and the experience of my guest. And to be quite frank, the challenge is not so much for the person who's my guest, it's for me. Because at one point I was talking about what I do and how well I do it for. A lot of people weren't buying it. Having said that, since I've been doing this hot seat challenge, I'm now getting people to say, Joe, I want you to be a part of what I'm trying to accomplish here. One, can I be on your hot seat challenge environment? And two, I'd love to expand that even further because we're talking a soundbite of experience here. So we can share you with your audience. So how do you go about it? Some people think that what they have to do is to sign up for something. They have to pay a lot of money for something. And that's not the case, really. It's the concept of, do you have enough interest to challenge yourself? Some people say, no, if I could just do what I'm doing now and be more successful, that would really be nice. And by the way, if you can figure that out, contact me, because you might have my interest also. To put it in perspective, I'm a biology major, and I understand more than people who are non-biology majors, the physiology of the body, the structure of it, how it works or doesn't. And when I see commercials of people exercising as a group, they're energetic, they're bouncing, they're twisting, they're turning, but they're also smiling. And I'm saying, what the flip are they smiling about? Because I hate exercising. Philosophically, intellectually, I get it. There's this issue of shared endorphins released from your body, and you're oozing it back into your skin, and you're getting a high from it. No, I hate exercising. I don't get any of that stuff. However, that being said, if I want to be a hunk, I got to exercise. As much as I don't like exercising, I need to exercise. And I realize that the more I put into challenging myself, the better value I'm going to get out of it. My wife says I have a long way to go on the hunk side, but I'm moving in that direction. My business is no different. That it's a challenge to achieve the goals you want to achieve. And the hot seat challenge, as I said, is as much for me as it is for my guests. Because if in a half an hour, which is really not a lot of time, I can get a sense of your essence that I can share back to your market, to you, through you, about what provides unique value to your business. You could do repair of overhead garage doors. It doesn't matter. But there'll be something about you that people will be drawn to. And that's the purpose of this hot seat challenge. Now, if any of this makes sense to you, please, in the attached document to this video, if not, certainly on YouTube, that there's a link that says sign up. All you need to do is, again, I should add value to you. I didn't throw that in. This is a freebie. So for no money out of pocket, for a half an hour of your time, and most importantly, for your willingness to assume a challenge to enhance the strength value of your business, you take the hot seat. You sign up. Hey, Joe, I'm interested. I then get back to you. We go through the processing of it. So again, for those who have signed in late, thank you for visiting us. We will have a guest scheduled next week. Toby couldn't make it today because she was a little bit under the weather. It just didn't make any sense. And so I'm covering the time period, taking on the challenge of providing, I hope, value to you. Or not. Please leave comments, whether you like it or not. If you don't like it, even more important to understand why, so I can get better at what I'm doing. Remember to sign up, to subscribe. People, without exception, have said to me as guests, I'm glad I took this session. I didn't realize what my favorite pastime was how it permeates or connects with what I'm doing now as a profession. What allows me to be specially skilled about what I do for value to my audience. So again, I'm Joe Wesley, JNO Creative Solutions. Thank you for joining us. Share your comments, subscribe with each other. I hope you're up to the challenge to get more value through you for your business, for your clients. Please connect back to us. Looking to hear you. Take care.